Alright, it's Liam. I want to thank everyone at the Oasis podcast. As you were.
Hello and welcome back to the Oasis podcast, the ultimate audio guide to Oasis. I hope you guys are well. This is just a very, very quick initial reaction review of the Oasis Knebworth film. So I've just got back from seeing it at my local Cineworld, and I think it's quite a lot to take in one go. I think I'm going to be counting down the days until we can get hold of the DVD or Blu-ray and watch it again and watch it in a bit more detail. Overall, I thought it was really great. I thought it was really well put together. Ultimately, it's a concert film, but it's more than a concert film. Obviously, you've got all the different stories sort of filtering through from a lot of the fans that were there, and it was really good to get some of those stories. The way it was edited in felt very much like the podcast, because you've got a fan talking and then the music sort of fades in, it felt very much like our podcast episode. So that was unusual, but that was cool. I could have done without the reenactments. I know a lot of people, they probably would have been struggling for footage of someone trying to make a phone call to get hold of tickets or all these different sort of things like that they chose to reenact. I didn't really need that, to be honest. I was quite happy with just all of the footage they had of the fans on the day and things like that. I thought that was probably my favourite stuff, as well as seeing the band on stage, which is obviously amazing. For me, it was like seeing all the footage of the crowd wandering around and chatting and just to be there and kind of remember what it was like to be in that crowd, experiencing that on the day. I was disappointed we didn't get any of the music from the other bands. We saw a bit of the Prodigy, but obviously they must have been that they didn't want to get the rights to the music. That would cost them money, I'm assuming, is the reason why. So it was cool to see them, and I think it wouldn't have been a fair reflection on the Saturday if they hadn't shown the Prodigy. But it would have been really nice to get those, to get the other guys from the bands involved. I think a lot of people have mentioned that it's a shame that Liam wasn't interviewed. What I could almost imagine was, why not kind of have him almost do like a commentary track? That's where I think he could have really added stuff, because if you just stick a microphone in front of him and say, "What do you think of Knebworth?" he'll just say, "Well, I don't know, I can't remember, mate." That's what he kind of always says. But actually, if you imagine if you had him and a couple of people, maybe him and Bonehead, sitting together watching the film and watching the concert back, they could be going, "Oh, look at you there," and that sort of thing. That kind of banter would have been really good, I think, and would have given us a bit more of a Liam eye view rather than the one line that we did get right at the end. I thought the music sounded really good. I'm not a complete kind of audio head, but it sounded great to me coming through the big speakers. You get the soundcheck version of It's Getting Better Man before the main concert, and that sounded bad to me, like really muddy and stuff. It obviously it wasn't like produced properly through a mixing desk like the main concert. But yeah, I was a bit concerned about that at first, but then when we got into the actual concert itself, that did sound really, really great. I thought it was edited really well. It was a tricky thing to have the two nights, because how do you do that without kind of repeating stuff? So the fact that they kind of held back a lot of the later songs to then show that on the second night, to show it near the end, because to end the film, I thought that worked really well. So I thought that was clever. I was a bit worried when they released the Live Forever clip, because Live Forever, for some reason, is edited really, really choppily, and they've got all the bits where it sort of goes into different boxes and things like that, and that feels like the bridge between the two nights, because there's quite a lot of Live Forever where they've got the spliced of both nights, and I was a bit put off by that. I thought, oh god, I'm going to struggle to watch this if it's just constantly going into different boxes and swiping and wiping and things the whole way through. But actually, that was probably the only one that was really done that in that sort of annoying way. Most of it, you could actually watch it and enjoy the concert footage for what it was. It was a bit choppy, and you're sort of jumping around quite a lot. You know, I suppose to get that energy, especially when you've got bands that don't really do a huge amount on stage, it then gives that energy by sort of chopping around between the fans and then the band and then jumping back and forth. It would have been nice to hear from Gwiggs, but I understand why he doesn't do them. It would have been nice to hear from Alan White, but I understand he doesn't do them. It was good to hear a bit of Bonehead. Noel's voiceover stuff was fine, but kind of what we've sort of heard a lot beforehand. It was nice that he was kind of commenting on what some of the fans had said a couple of times. So, you know, someone mentioned that they're a Scouser and they're a Man United fan, and then he sort of commented on that. That was quite fun, like as if they were sort of in the room together. So that was quite entertaining. Probably my favourite bit was the intro to Slide Away. The fact that one of the fans actually says, you know, about the way that Liam sings that first line of the chorus, sorry, not the intro, the way that Liam sings it, where he really screams the "Now That You're Mine," rather than going, you know, "Now That You're Mine." The fact he just goes for it, and it's like, wow, really powerful. I thought that was probably the most amazing moment. Or then later on, when there's quite a few bits, there's one where Liam goes down into the crowd and he's looking up at Noel and Noel's waving down at him. I thought that was really lovely. And generally, Noel's just loving it all the way through. You know, he's just so into it. You know, he's really singing along. He's bounding his head. He's sort of really going for it. He's really, he's just got so much joy and passion all the way through the gig. I really, really liked it. So yeah, overall, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was really well put together. A good mixture of, it wasn't just a concert film. And it wasn't like a full-on documentary where it didn't have enough of the concert. I thought that the mix of the two was quite good. As I mentioned, didn't need the reenactments. They could have probably binned those off and just, you know, I don't know, tried a bit harder to get footage from the time. I mean, maybe there just isn't any, but, you know, just don't bother. And yes, it would have been nice to hear more from the other guys, especially Liam. But I think the fact that we did then get to hear from the fans, I mean, Oasis are the fans band. That's what the Oasis podcast is all about. It's about hearing from the fans. It's not just about hearing from the people that were involved with the band. The fans are more important than any of them. So, you know, so I think that was really good that they chose to do it that way. But anyway, that's just my initial thoughts, having only watched it a short while ago. I would love to hear from you, so if you want to send me an audio message, then do feel free, oasispod@gmail.com, or I'm going to be doing at least one, maybe more, sort of phone-in discussions about it, so that will probably be primarily for my patrons to get involved. That's kind of a little patron bonus, is that they tend to be the people that get involved, get the shouts for those. So if you really want to get involved in that, probably sign up on Patreon would be the best option. Otherwise, just sort of be around, be aware on social media, and that might happen in the next few days. But anyway, for now, yeah, I'm still buzzing, to be honest, from having seen that. I wish I could see it again, but that's it. I'm not going to be able to see it now until it comes out on DVD. So, yeah, it would be great to hear from you guys. As ever, stay in touch, stay engaged, and stay young.